Hello everyone, this is Asian Wonder again, and in today's video I want to review the Nixon 5130 chronograph watch. And I want to start off like always with the story of why I buy these watches. I made $16,000 on one paycheck. Now it was actually a few dollars more, it's like 16,600 and something, but I'm not going to count this change. I'm just going to round it off to even 16,000. And I feel that that's very important that we reward ourselves for the big accomplishments that we have in life. And for me, that was even more important to me than graduating from high school or getting a diploma or getting a degree or anything like that, because it wasn't something that was easy for me to come by. So that's my story of why I got this Nixon 5130 chronograph. And so now let me go over some of the what I like about the watch. Now that story time's over. The face of the watch is 51 millimeters in diameter. It has 3 buttons right here. The top button is for the reset button because it has a chronograph, and the bottom button here is the start stop, and the top button here is to reset the stopwatch, the chronograph. Now it's a 3-eye face right here, 3-eye dial right here. The top dial, the top small dial, is for the seconds. The bottom right here is for the military time, or the GMT time, and the one over here is to keep track of the chronograph, so it goes up to an hour. Now this whole thing is made out of stainless steel, and it's pretty solid stainless steel here. I like the way that the bezel has these ridges here, so when you grab it and you're diving or something, you can you can hear it as I turn it right there. And it's pretty solid. It's not something that's easy. You're not going to actually bump it and mess up your adjustments. And so it's pretty good. And it only spins counterclockwise too, by the way. And they have increments of every 5 minutes on the bezel for your diving. Notice that some of the big face watches out there, they're just knockoffs, and they're just using the smaller guts from the 42 millimeter watches and the 41 millimeter watches that they had previously before the big face trend came out. And what they would do is they would just build a bigger crown or a bigger case to put the smaller gut on the inside. But this Nixon watch seems to have the big case, the big gut, and the big band to all go along with, so it's very, very proportional, and it looks very aesthetically pleasing. The other thing too that I like is that if you'll notice here, there's a huge like rod, like a stainless steel rod that goes across to hold the band into the case itself. And if you look on the side, there's huge flathead screws right there that you can see in the light that hold these things in. So there's one on this side, and then there's one on this side to screw it in. So I really like that. I like the brush stainless steel look here. It's not chrome. Be careful, guys, because I've seen the chrome version where they chrome plate this entire stainless steel watch, and it looks really, for my personal taste, it looks really tacky. Whereas this brush stainless steel right here, it's not polished or nothing. They just brush it, so it looks clean and it looks really classy. And it's a great watch if you're working in the office and you're working behind the desk or anything like that, or even if you're at the gym. It's really, really great. Because it fits both environments, in the office and outside the office, and if you go out or something like that, it's really, really nice. Now the band is extremely comfortable. Like, it's not going to get any more comfortable than this if you're going to for a big face watch, because the bands are very solid. And if you'll notice too, when I hold it across right here, the bands are very well machined, meaning that it has a very precise fit. So if you'll notice, like a lot of bands, they're really cheap and lousy, so that whenever you hold the band out like this, it flops down, like, you know, it'll just be limp like that, right? And I hate those watches, because to me that's really poor design, especially coming from a engineering and from a machining background, where I used to machine lots of parts for fishing boats and commercial boats and tugboats. I really do not appreciate it when people don't make things out of metal precisely, which is not that hard to do. So whenever I see somebody has flimsy bands, that just lets me know it's poor craftsmanship, and it's just they didn't take the time to measure and make sure that everything is precise. And keep in mind, it costs a little bit more money when you have to make things precise like these watches. Now, the clasp here, you'll see that it has a fold-over clasp where it clasps in. It snaps shut, and then there's a lock that goes on. There's a lock that goes on top of it right there. So that's what it looks like whenever you clasp it after you lock it in. There you go, folks. And again, Nixon pays a lot of attention to detail here. They do a great job on the back side. It has the Nixon logo and name. Now, there's only one downside to this watch that I don't like. Just one thing, and if they would have, it just drives me nuts when they do this. And keep in mind, because I have a mechanical engineering background, I really hate it when people do this, right? Now, I mentioned to you about the solid stainless steel rod that goes across it to hold this in. I mean, literally, like somebody tries to rip this off your arm, they're gonna rip your arm out of your shoulder before they rip the watch off. However, there is one weak link in the chain here. If you look really closely on the side where you make the adjustments right here, you'll notice that the pin that goes in here, and I don't know if you guys can see this in the video or not. I'll try to move it around so you can see the light, but right there, okay? The pin is extremely small. It's the smallest pin on the entire band, and it only takes a little bit. So even though it might be hard to rip this watch off somebody's wrist, if some pickpocket tries to pull this off from you, if you went to a third world country or something, right? If they pull it at the right angle, it's possible for them to rip the clasp off, right? So that's the only downside. So I hope that Nixon is watching this. They build like an indestructible watch everywhere, and it comes to this one last pin right here, and they made it so it's a little bit too small. And again, I hope that you guys can see this here, what I'm talking about. It's really hard, but you know, like the area that I live in and work in and stuff, I'm not worried about somebody ripping this off my arm. But just as a mechanical engineer, having a mechanical engineer's eyes, I just don't like the idea that they put bigger pins in all of this, and then when it came down to the adjustment pin, they made it a little bit smaller, which that's my only nitpicking thing about this Nixon 5130 watch, right? But everything else, it's really great. Now, who is this watch for? This watch is good for all you big ballers and shot callers out there, and all you business executives that want to be seen and heard. Well, they're extremely noticeable. I mean, if you're one of those pickup artists that watch VH1's pickup artists from Mystery and everything, this is what they would talk about as being the conversation piece, something that will get the girls' attention. As far as me, I really don't care about that at this point in my life, but I'm just saying that for you guys out there that need something to get the girls' attention, you definitely need to get one of these grandfather clocks and put it on your wrist, because it definitely stands out. If you're like a pimp on a tough street corner and you got to keep your girls in line because, you know, they're straying off, or, you know, they're screwing up, they're not bringing in the cash or whatever, you can always put this 10-pound clock on your wrist, you know, and not only does it look fashionable, but it adds weight to your hand, your pimp hand. When you got to show those girls that your pimp hand is way strong, you can take this and or your upcoming rapper or something like that. This thing here, when you got that microphone in your hand and you're just bebopping and rapping away, I mean, this thing just really, it just stands out, and it just shows people who is the shiznick, you know. Before I wrap it up, let's talk about the price on this thing. At the end of 2010, it runs around $400. They don't change the price. It doesn't matter which website you go to. I spent nearly 6 months looking for this watch to see the best deal. And if you just paid me minimum wage to do the research for every hour that I had to look to get this watch, right? The hours that I spent trying to get a deal on this watch is retarded, because I must have spent more than $400 worth of my time looking for a better deal for this watch. So you can look for deals on any other watch, but not on this one. This one, it's around $400. You buy it online, they give you shipping for free. Now, if you go to the stores like Zoomes, they have these things, and they'll offer you free shipping, but it still takes a week, so you might as well save you the gas and the time from going to the mall and just get online and just order it, right? And I can promise you that you will not regret getting this watch. I mean, it is big, it's bossy, and it's out there, and it's in your face. I mean, just boom! Look at that, right there, right? Now, you put this thing on and go sport it around town, go to work with it, go to play with it, go to the clubs with it, and come back and post a video comment on here and let the rest of us know if you got the same results that I did with this watch, right?